Hey everyone, welcome to this new video where we are going to talk about batch, which is a new amendment which will hopefully come soon to the XRP Ledger. I am currently on xrpscan.com, which allows you to see the different amendments for the XRP Ledger and their status. So here for the batch, as of December 15th, 2025, we are at 76% consensus, 26 validators voted in favor of the amendment. So we need two more to enter into the 2 weeks countdown until the amendment is enabled on mainnet. So a batch will allow you to submit up to 8 transactions and a minimum of 2. There are 4 different flags which are available for the batch transactions, and I think they are pretty much explicit. The first one will be all or nothing. So all transactions must succeed or else the whole batch fails, so it's all or nothing. The second flag is only one, so only the first successful transaction is applied, and then all the transactions afterward fail or skipped. The third flag will be until failure, so all transactions are applied until the first failure happens, and all the subsequent transactions then will be skipped. And the last one, independent, all transactions are applied regardless of failure. So batch transaction has like 2 modes. I call them mode, maybe other people will call them differently, but we have a single account mode and a multiple account mode. So single account mode, this is how I try to represent the transaction. So you see we have this outer transaction, which effectively is the new batch transaction type here. And this is submitted by an account that I call A. All right. Within this outer transaction, we have all the other fields that we typically would use in a payment or trust line. And here I wanted to mention the flags one. So we have this all or nothing here, but that could be also until failure, independent, the ones that we saw just before. And within this batch transaction, we have those inner transactions, which can go from 2 to 8. So here, the first inner transaction is made by account A. That would be a payment. The second one would also be by account A payment. And the third one would be again by account A and an escrow create. Here again, the single account mode means that the same account will issue all the inner transactions, the same account that is issuing this batch. And then we have the multiple account mode. So here, the same thing, we have the batch transaction outside, submitted by the account A, but the inner transactions may involve and will involve other accounts. So here we can still have the account A for one inner transaction, which would be a payment, but then the inner transaction number 2 and 3 would be submitted by another account. So account B here and account C. And we could have again up to 8 transactions, account D, E, F, etc. And the last scenario that I wanted to mention is that here account A would only submit the batch, but all the inner transactions would not involve the account A. So here we have account B, C, D, and we could think of like we have like an intermediary company that would issue that batch transaction and would involve, like for example, an account that would have a stable coin and another account that would have an NPT, and are willing to exchange them atomically. That would be a scenario for this multiple account. For a demo, I've created a UI similar to the MPT one, and I'm gonna demonstrate it to you in a second. I'll start with a single account, and we'll do a batch transaction with that account. So let's say we have account A, and we want to send 2 transactions, 2 XRP payments, to a second account called B. The first payment will be 1 XRP, the second payment will be 1.5, but the amount doesn't really matter here. So let's go to the UI now. So here is the UI. very similar to the MPT one that I created before. On the left side, we have the accounts managed by the application. Just below, we have the tokens that we created within the app, MPT or IOUs. And then we have like the main panel where we have different transactions that we can submit to the XRP Ledger. So I've already generated my first account. I will generate now a second account and we'll do the single account mode. I can add some label to it, so I'll do account A, and here account B, just to make it like a bit more understandable. So let's go to single account batch tab and we'll select, for example, all or nothing. We're gonna add a transaction, so we need between 2 and 8, so inner transactions. Let's do a payment. For now, only the payment here is supported by the application. So the account A will send the payments and the account B will be the destination. So I just want to copy that address for the destination, and I'm gonna send 1 XRP here, as we said, and the other one would be 1.5. Copy again the destination and 1.5. Now I'm submitting that batch transaction. We have a JSON below that shows you how it looks like. So we have this raw transactions array, including those two batches, those two inner transactions. And if we go now to UI, I'm gonna take my account address, I'm typing it in the Explorer, and we see we have the batch transaction here, which has been applied, and the two payments within it, so 1 XRP here and 1.5. If we go inside the batch transaction, you see you have these two inner transactions, number 1 and number 2. And if we go to the row, we can see we have this raw transaction number 1, raw transaction number 2, 1 XRP and 1.5. Now let's go back to this UI and I'm going to show you another mode. So only one means the first successful transaction is applied. So if we submit again 2 payments, the first XRP will succeed and the second one will fail. So I'm going to copy the destination, this one. I'm going to send, let's say 1.1, and I'm going to add a new transaction, the destination, and 1.2. So here only 1.1 XRP will succeed, again because I'm on only one mode. Let's submit that batch. I'm going to wait a few seconds. It has been submitted. We refresh the page. Let's go back to the originating account. This one, I think I may have to refresh the page. And here it is. So we have the batch, but only one payment here is applied, the 1.1. If we go to inside the batch, we can see the first inner transaction is successful, but the second here is not validated. Go again to the raw, we have the amount here at 1.1 XRP and this one 1.2, which has been skipped. Now let me show you until failure. So all the transactions are applied until the first failure. So what I will do is that I will do first 1 XRP transaction, which will succeed. That's the destination. Let's do like 1.3. to be able to easily recognize them. Then we add a new transaction and I'll do like an IOU transaction this time. IOU transaction, but this will fail because actually there is no trust line setup. There is nothing set up here for the IOU, so that will fail. And the issuer, we can take the account A and let's send like 100. This one will fail. And we'll add a third transaction which should succeed, but because of the flag we use, which is until failure, the third transaction will fail. So let's copy the destination, XRP, and I'm gonna send 1.5 here. So I repeat again, until failure, so all transactions are applied until the first failure. So transaction 1 is a simple XRP payment, that will succeed. The second transaction is an IOU, which will fail because there is no trust line setup. And because the second transaction fails, the third transaction will also fail. So So let's see that. I'm submitting the batch. It's submitted. Let's go back to the Explorer. I'm going to take that account address. I'll just refresh the page. And here we are. We have the batch. Let's go inside the batch first. The first transaction is the simple XRP, which is successful. Then we have the second one, which is the IOU or LUSD. This one has failed, passed dry. We didn't have any trust line set up. And finally, the third one is not validated, again, because we used the flag until failure. And finally, the last one will be independent. So we'll do again the same setup, like an XRP, IOU, and an XRP transaction again. And this time, the first and the third transaction will work. So I'm going to copy the account B address for the XRP payment. Let's do 1.6 here. Then we had the transaction, the IOU for the second one, the destination. Let's do RUSD. The issuer, I'll take the account A address, and let's do 150. And finally, another XRP transaction with the destination as account B. And here we'll send to XRP. So again, we have independent. All transactions will be applied regardless of failure. Transaction 1 will be applied, it will succeed. Transaction 2 will fail, there will be a path dry again error. And transaction 3, XRP payment, this one will succeed. I'm submitting the batch. It's done. Let's go back to the Explorer. We'll refresh the page. And here we are. We have the batch, payment 1, 2, 3. The second has failed, and the third one and first one have succeeded, 1.6 and 2 XRP. If we go inside the batch, we have the first one successful, second one passed dry, and the third one successful. I want now to give you a demo of the multiple account mode with this atomic swap between two currencies. So one will be IOU and one will be an MPT. So we have three accounts. Account A, which will be the issuer of RLUSD and the MPT. And account B, which will hold the RLUSD. And account C, which will hold the MPT. So this is, I just schematized the transactions that we'll have to submit to the ledger. So account B and C will need a trust line to be able to hold RLUSD. And same thing, they will need the MP token authorized transaction to hold the MPT. And finally, the account A will first mint some RLUSD into account B and mint the MPT into account C. So we'll have a positive balance of RLUSD for B and a positive balance for C, for the MPT. And so I will not go through the whole setup in the UI, the demo, because this is not the goal of this video, but you can do that in the demo application that I've created. It's very similar to the MPT one, for example, that I issued before the previous video. So we are back to the UI. I've added an account C here, and I've done the whole setup. So here you can see the created tokens at the bottom left, and I have created like an ROU, RLUSD. It's on DevNet, so it's just a random account that I use for this. And so of course there is no value. And also I created an MPT, which is a T-bill. So we'll do the swap between the two, between account B and C. So for that, we are going to, well, actually before doing the swap, I wanted to show you the balances. So for account B, starting with R436, let's go to the Explorer. I'm refreshing the page to show you this is the latest values. And we have the IOU or LUSD, we have a balance of 10,000 and 0 MPT. For the account C, starting with REUN, we are going to the Explorer. I'm refreshing that page, and we will have a balance of MPT. So 0 IOU and the MPT here. 1,000. Actually, let me check. Maybe I think I might have, no, it's okay, I did the trust line, just wanted to make sure. Okay, so we have the MPT and we'll do the swap. So let's go back to the UI and we'll go to the multi-account batch. For that, actually, let's go back to the Excali draw and we'll just have a look again at the flow. So account A here will submit the batch transaction and we will involve B and C. So for the inner transaction number 1, we'll have a payment where the destination will be C and we will send some RLUSD. Here I wrote 1000, but it can be any value. And the second one, the transaction number 2, so from account C and the destination B, and that will involve the MPT with a value of 1, or that can be more, right? So that's a swap between RLUSD and the MPT. Account B and C for the inner transaction, and account A, which is submitting the batch. So now we're going back to my UI. We select the multi-account batch. We select the batch submitter account, which will be the account A. And for this swap, I think all or nothing is the flag that we need. And we'll add a transaction, the first transaction. So that will be the account B. And we need the IOU. So the destination will be account C. I just copied the address, REUN, the currency RLUSD. The issuer is the account A, this one, account A, and we are going to send 1000. We add a second transaction where this time we select the account C. We select an MPT payment. The destination will be the account B. I'm copying that address. I select the MPT in the list, the T-bill, this one here. And the amount, let's do 100. The amounts differ from the one I have in my diagrams, but it's okay, it doesn't matter. So we have this, B to C here for 1, the RLUSD, and from C to account B for the MPT. Let's submit that batch. So first we need to sign the first transaction because we are in multiple accounts, right? So we need to add the signature to the batch transaction. So the signature for the first transaction from B to C with RLUSD. We sign, and same thing on the reverse. We need to add the signature from for the transaction going from C to B. So I signed that transaction, the second one, and we are submitting the transaction batch to the XRP Ledger. It's successful. Going back to now to the Explorer, we are going to copy the let's do the account B. Actually, no, we have them already here. Let me refresh the page in the Explorer. And now, so this one is the account B, which had the RLUSD. We have a balance of 9,000, but we have now an MPT 100, a balance of 100. And let's go to the second account, the account C. I refresh the page, and same thing. We should have now some RLUSD in that account, the IOU 1,000, and the MPT has been decreased by 100, so we have a balance of 900. And this is how you can do like atomic swap using the new batch amendment. One last thing that I wanted to show you is the code. Actually, if you're integrating it with your application, so you want to see how the code works, you go to xrpl.org, then you click on the Docs tab, you go to Tutorials, you go to How-Tos on the left here, and you go to Use Batch Transactions and send a single account batch transaction or multiple account. And here you will have an example of how to use the new JavaScript SDK, the updated one that supports batch, and you have all the source code here. Set up your client so you can prepare the batch, you can sign it. So this swap thing will be very helpful to you. Thanks for watching. I hope this video was useful to you. Feel free to write me your comments below the video, and see you in the next video. Bye.